Hi guys, welcome to my first instalment of my new TV project. If you have seen the announcement video for this and that's why you've clicked on this one, then thank you so much for coming along to join in with this. I'm really excited about it. If you have no idea what I'm talking about and you missed the last video, I'll link it in the description box down below and there'll be a link to it in the end card so you can go and check that out. I'd probably recommend that you check that out before you watch this video so that you know what this is all about. And if you choose to get involved and come back and leave a comment on this video, that would make me very happy. So I thought that I would start this video with a topic that I feel particularly strongly about, and it's one that I particularly enjoy and I talk about quite a lot, and I've made videos talking about this theme before, but that is female TV characters. So I just want to start off with kind of a general discussion on what draws me to a particular character in a TV show. And this also applies, I think, to films and to books as well, but obviously this project's focused on television. And there are so many different things that will draw me into a particular character. But I think the things that matter most to me in characters are that they have integrity, so they kind of stick by what they believe in, that they're strong, that they have passion, and that there's something that they really believe in and that they really want to fight for. That could be anything, that could be a work-related thing, that could be a relationship, that could be a friendship, it could be something to do with their family. Just that they have something that they are really passionate about and that they really care about, that really attracts me to a character. I think I also am attracted to characters who are flawed. I like characters who feel real, even in like fantasy-based shows. I like characters who have flaws and that those flaws are kind of openly explored and talked about. No one is perfect, and I don't think that you can ever really truly 100% connect with a character who is represented as this sort of perfect person who never does anything wrong, because there's something so relatable about when a character messes up or does something that they shouldn't have done, whether it's for right or wrong reasons. Everyone makes mistakes. And so for me, especially when it comes to television, so the sort of TV format where it's long drawn out, where you get to know a character over several seasons so you know everything that there is to know about them, I like characters who feel a bit real and they feel a bit flawed and that you kind of love them in spite of their flaws. So a few people who I want to mention. Most of these will come as no surprise if you watched my channel before, if you watched my video last week, which was my fictional TV Girl Squad, which was a lot of fun to make. There's going to be some repeats here, but because it's a topic that's close to my heart, I wanted to kick this project off with this. But the first character that I want to talk about is honestly like represented on me right now, which sounds really sad, but by this particular necklace that I have here, and that is Emma Swan from Once Upon a Time. This here that I have is Emma's pendant, which, well, it's not obviously the Emma's pendant, but it's the same necklace that Emma has. My best friend, whose name coincidentally is also Emma, got me this for my birthday this year because she knows how much the character of Emma Swan means to me and how close I feel to that character. The reason that I love Emma Swan, I think I'm going to make a whole video on this because someone actually asked in the comments on last week's video if I could make a whole video on why I love Emma Swan, and I think I will do that because I have a lot of reasons for that. But I think what matters most to me about Emma is that she kind of ticks every box on that list that I mentioned before. She's extremely passionate and she's willing to fight for the things that she believes in. She's willing to fight for her family, but she's also flawed and she has done things that she shouldn't have done, and she's had struggles in her past that have made her who she is today. And I feel like, despite the fact that Once Upon a Time is a very magical world, she just feels like a very real person. I just feel like from the word go, I just really connected with her character. I felt like I could believe in her. I wanted the best for her. I wanted her to be happy. I wanted her to learn to trust people. I wanted good things to happen for her, and I still, every season, feel exactly the same way. Jennifer Morrison plays her so well. I love Jennifer Morrison, we all know this, but I just feel like with the character of Emma, her character growth and progression over the seasons has been incredible. Yeah, I could talk about her all day. The next character that I want to talk about is Veronica Mars. Veronica Mars is one of my favourite TV shows of all time, and once again, I just feel like she ticks every single box on my checklist. By the way, I don't actually have like a literal checklist when I'm watching a show. I don't like sit down and go, I can't connect with you if you don't fit into every aspect of the box. But I feel like Veronica, again, she's someone who's guarded, she's someone who has been through some really dark and difficult things in her life, but she's feisty and she's fiery and she's intelligent and she's determined, and she will stop at nothing to help the people that she cares about. And that is something that she and Emma Stone, I think, have very much in common. They'll do anything for the people that they love, and I love Veronica's wit. She's so witty and sarcastic, and you know, she's got an answer for everything, and I just think that she's one of these characters who over time you just grow to love more and more and more. And if you've never watched Veronica Mars, please go and watch it. It is an incredible show, and it ended way before it should have, so go and check it out. There are 3 seasons of it plus a film, and there are talks about potentially doing a Gilmore Girls-esque mini-series in the future, which would just make me so happy. Speaking of Gilmore Girls, Lorelai Gilmore is another one of my absolute favourite characters, and I think once again she doesn't necessarily check off the boxes in the list in quite the same ways as Emma and Veronica do. Her flaws, I think, they're a little bit less kind of dark, but she has issues with her family and she has problems with them and difficulties within that sort of side of things. But she is just one of these characters who you just feel like if you were friends with Lorelai Gilmore, your life would be enriched by that. And from the minute I started watching Gilmore Girls, I just loved her. She's another character who has been through difficult times and just worked her ass off to make things better for herself, to create this great life for her and her daughter. And I think she's a very good representation of someone who doesn't need to be in a relationship to be fulfilled, and can handle her life very independently and very well on her own, but just is sort of looking for love in a sensible sort of way, if that makes sense, which again is something that draws me very much to a character. The next character that I want to talk about is Leslie Knope from Parks and Recreation. I don't think that there is a more positive representation of someone who would be your friend than Leslie Knope. Again, she's a character that I want to be friends with. She's someone who I feel like my life would be enriched by having her in it. She, again, is so incredibly determined. She works so hard. She believes in her ability to make the world a better place, and I think that that's such an attractive quality. She's so positive and encouraging and friendly and kind. You just feel like if you were Leslie's friend, you would just feel so encouraged constantly, and I think that's wonderful. I feel like Leslie's flaws are more sort of on the kind of comedic side of things, and I think that they are probably explored a bit more towards the beginning of the show than necessarily as time goes on, but I just think that she's a wonderful character, and Amy Poehler is just one of my favourite people. And finally for this video, I want to talk about Erica from Being Erica. Again, someone I mentioned in my last video. In fact, I've mentioned I think all of these people in my last video. But Erica Strange is, I think, sort of like my spirit animal. I don't know if I ever connected with a character as quickly as I connected with Erica, and I don't know if you've ever had that thing where you're maybe at a point in your life where you're kind of like, oh, I don't really know what's going on in my life right now, and then you'll read a book or you'll watch a TV show or a film where you see a character and you go, I feel like you understand me and you understand what's going on right now. And that's exactly how I felt when I met, which sounds ridiculous to say met, but when Erica Strange came into my life, that's exactly how I felt. I started watching Being Erica towards the end of my time doing my undergrad at university, so I was actually 10 years younger than the character, but I felt like I was in a very similar place. I was about to graduate and I had no idea what I was going to be doing with my life when I graduated, and that was really starting to worry me, and I was starting to get very stressed about it. And I was so happy at uni. I loved being at uni, and that's where I felt like I was so comfortable and I wanted to stay there. And when I knew that I was going to be leaving that, I felt like, what's happening in my life? What am I going to do? This is also overwhelming. And in the pilot episode, Erica, although it's 10 years later, is at a very similar point in her life where she just doesn't know where she's going or what she's doing. And the type of therapy that she stumbles into in Being Erica, if you've never seen it, it's a show which deals with time travel in quite an interesting way. And so the sort of therapy that she gets through this sort of magical time travel situation just made me feel better. And I know that that probably sounds very strange, but there was something about meeting that character and being introduced to that character that just made me feel better. And I don't think there's any better reason to say that someone's one of your favourite characters than the fact that just by spending time watching them on screen, it makes you feel better. So those are just a handful of my favourite female TV characters. I have a very, very long list and I could be here all day. There are a few shows at the moment that I'm absolutely loving in terms of some of the female characters. I've been watching Arrow recently. I absolutely love Felicity. I've been watching How to Get Away with Murder, and Annalise is such a complex and interesting character. Regina from Once Upon a Time is another one of my absolute favourite characters, and the list goes on and on and on. So what I want to do now is just open it up to you guys. I want to know in the comments down below what draws you to a particular television character, what makes you want to keep watching a show, and what makes you fall for a character and invest time in that character. And then you can go on to further answer that question by telling me who some of your favourite female TV characters of all time are and why. Next week we're going to be talking about your favourite male characters, so you can get your thinking cap on for that if you want to get involved in that discussion. And as I say, just start a discussion in the comments down below. I cannot wait to hear what some of your answers are. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope that you're having a great day, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye! For example, I will do a video on Dexter, and I'll ask you what you think about Dexter and ask you for your comments on it and what you liked or disliked about it, and you can tell me in the comments.